Hello, everyone. My name is Jonathan Wilkes, and today I will be conducting an interview with Mr. Rick Ng. I'm saying that right?
Yes,
Okay. President of OCA Greater Los Angeles team and program manager for the Los Angeles County LA versus Hate program, which is a program that allows victims and witnesses to report any hate incidents or hate crimes and receive free follow-up services as well as supportive resources. With that being said, can you share a little bit about your background, where you grew up, and what experience shaped your early life?
absolutely. Thank you, Jonathan. It's a pleasure to meet you, pleasure to be here and speaking with you about the subjects that you would like to hear about. Yes, my name is Rick Ng, and as Jonathan had mentioned, my main my day job basically is program manager for the LA versus Hate program, which is a county program. And my role and responsibilities has to do with managing a partnership called the Rapid Response Network. 16 different partners, which are service agencies and community nonprofits that have programs and offer assistance to victims of hate. And we augment the services and support offered by LA County. Um, I grew up in Los Angeles. I was born in LA, and most of my upbringing was in the San Gabriel Valley and the city of Monterey Park. And I would probably say sort of my earlier days growing up back then, it was a fairly mixed bedroom community, a very sleepy community. That's how the valley was at the time.
Mhm,
So I had many friends that were non-Asian, that were of
mhm.
different, ethnicities and races. And so we never really gave it a thought about like, the divisions and the history of prejudice and bigotry in this country. We were young and we were just like riding our bikes to the park and hanging out, after school.
Yeah.
So I was never really aware of that difference. I knew we were Chinese
Mhm,
because of the things that we observed, like New Year's and other types of celebrations, and we would go to Chinatown. But at the same time, it never really separated me from, having friends of in different color lines, if
mhm,
that's the way to put it. So yeah, that was kind of like my upbringing, and
mhm,
it was probably until later life that then I started to understand some of the uh, the differences, the distinctions, how the current role of race relations and the tensions we're seeing with hate and prejudice had a lot to do with then knowing the history of our country.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you for telling us about that. So then to build off of that, what would you say inspired you to begin working professionally or volunteering to support the API community?
I think probably with like most kids, in middle school and then in high school,
Hmm.
it was joining service clubs.
Hmm.
Friends, like you heard it from your like your older siblings, hey, you should be in this club or that club. And when you got involved with these clubs, then of course, we were doing community outreach and services. For example, sometimes like community cleanups, picking up trash. Uh, and there was a nearby school where I went to that actually had students with disabilities. So we got to
Hmm.
work with them and, like play with them, engage with them. That was probably sort of the introduction that a lot of us
Hmm.
got to in, just being out there with the community. And it probably wasn't until later on when you, again, as you get older and
Yeah.
you start to like look at the news, pay attention to what's going on, then you start
Hmm.
to understand like what what's going on in the world. So
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. I can definitely identify with that. As you said, kind of the ignorance of youth. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's good and it's bad. And then obviously when you grow up, you're kind of forced into the world per se to, like you said, experience those things. Okay.
Yeah.
So With that being said, would you say there's a specific turning point or event in your life that motivated you to address such hate that was around you or discrimination more directly?
I would probably say maybe uh, I guess the one thing a significant thing in my life
Hmm.
was in high school. I was in a relationship,
Hmm.
with someone who's not Asian.
Yeah.
No, we were together for about a year and a
Okay.
half, and I guess again, I started to see the differences. She was a Caucasian,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
but she also like had Asian friends, and so there
Hmm.
was that kind of appreciation. And again, we didn't really think about
Yeah.
things in color differences, but I think the outside world started to see, you started, you're viewed as like, oh, the interracial couple, and there
Hmm.
were these, like looks, and so you started to kind of pay more attention to that. And then you started to hear more about like, things that were happening in the real world and with, interracial relationships.